Hello, in this video I want to talk about the power of words and how they are used to injure you. Why words are so important to the abuser and how they use them, how they keep you trapped, and the energy the word has. I will share with you some research of words and the negative and positive effects they have. And finally, I'll give you some tips on how to respond to save your sanity. Hello and welcome to the Divorce Sanctuary. My name is Elizabeth Goddard, author of Finding Lily and the A to Z of emotional abuse. On this channel I talk about healing from emotional abuse and divorcing from the emotional abuser. And if you're new, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're returning, thank you. I'd like to say thank you to all my new subscribers over the last few weeks. It's been absolutely amazing. I am so grateful for your support. So this video is about the power of words and how they are used to injure you. Frankie Goes to Hollywood sang about the power of love, but I don't know anyone who has sung about words. They can conjure up different emotions within us. There are words of hate, words of encouragement, words of anger. My grandmother used to repeat a rhyme to us as children: "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me." A saying that was perhaps repeated over and over again in the playground to say to others, you can physically hurt me, but you can't hurt me with your words. I've always questioned this. People might say, my word is my sword, or my word is my bond. Words are very powerful and they can have you question yourself. With the intonation in the wrong place, it can change the meaning of everything. So when you shift it from one word to another, it changes the meaning. And you might have found yourself saying or thinking, I didn't say that, or I didn't mean that, or hearing the abuser say that to you. So by using the example, he isn't flying to Paris tomorrow, let me show you how easy it is. He isn't flying to Paris tomorrow. In this case, the intonation is on the he, indicating that it's not him who is travelling, but it might be somebody else. The second one, he isn't flying to Paris tomorrow. The emphasis is on the isn't. He's changed his mind. The third one, he isn't flying to Paris tomorrow. The emphasis being on flying. Maybe he's changed his mind and he's driving or getting the train. Number 4, he isn't flying to Paris tomorrow. So the intonation is on the to. You're saying that this is not the direction that he's flying to. He's actually flying back from Paris. He isn't flying to Paris tomorrow. Stressing the word Paris, for example, would mean that he's not actually his destination. He might be flying to New York or Sydney. He isn't flying to Paris tomorrow, with the emphasis being on tomorrow, would mean that it's not tomorrow that he's flying, but it's another day. It might be the day after or next week. But by changing the tone of the word, the whole meaning can change. You might remember hearing statements and think, I didn't say that, I said. You might remember recoiling at the language you heard directed at you. You might remember the words feeling they were a personal attack on you, or perhaps you felt you'd been stabbed in the heart by some of the things that they said to you. They will tell you everyone thinks that you're mad, bipolar, insecure, have low self-esteem, and they may suggest other family members have raised concerns as well about the way you behave. They will use words to devalue you. They will use words to coerce you. They will tell you you're crazy or you're paranoid when you start to question things. Words were used to belittle you. They may have laughed at what you were saying, and then explained to others that you didn't mean it like that, and change your words. Words are used as weapons, and by not using words, that can be taken that you don't object. And during the divorce, you need to be very careful that you don't overlook something because you get caught up in the games that they play. In my video, Respond, Don't React, I explain about how and why they load the words in the way they do, and how important it is not to react. I'll put the link into the description box below. Think of them as some crazy science professor who's playing around with you and your emotions. We are all a bunch of chemicals, and our hormones respond. They are looking to create an amazing reaction in you, and you are just about to play into their hands. Actually visualize them as a crazy scientist as you're opening that letter, understanding the games that they're playing. You can actually create an image of them, or you could use someone like Johann Conrad Dippel. He was born in Castle Frankenstein in 1673. He was a theologian, an alchemist and a scientist who developed a popular dye called Persian blue, and that's still used today. But Dippel is better remembered for his more controversial experiments. He mixed animal bones and hides together in a stew that he called Dippel's oil, and he claimed that it was an elixir that could extend a lifespan of anyone who consumed it. He also had a love of dissecting animals, and some believe that he stole human bodies from Castle Frankenstein. And Dippel is often cited as the inspiration for Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, though the claim remains controversial. Now, if you see or visualize the person sending it as doing this with intent, you can protect yourself. Your self-esteem is stripped away with words to now be non-existent, and you probably believe you're not worthy of anything. You might feel trapped, and that is exactly what this was used for, forcing you into a position that you are reliant on them for everything and easier to control. Words are really powerful, and it is important that your reaction doesn't mask or cloud what is really happening or being said in this document or email that was specifically written to trigger you. The mad scientist is relying on your reaction. They may load information in the hope that it will be overlooked as you concentrate on one area. Remember, not saying anything is taken as agreement in the eyes of the law. When you receive any information or communication, if you're still being triggered by your ex-partner, don't read it straight away. Make sure you ground yourself. And you could set up a little routine where you ground yourself and you remind yourself who is sending it and why they're doing it, what the purpose behind the communication really is. Remember, their goal is to win. They love to win. That is why it is so important at the beginning of this process to discover what you want and what you need from the divorce. They have already decided what you are worth to them. You need to do the same, but in a way that works for you. Make sure you have a column of non-negotiables, and next to it, a column of giveaways, your bargaining tools. They have to win, and they don't care by how much. It just has to look like they've won. But it doesn't mean you have to lose. This is a game and you don't have their rules. But you can set some boundaries now and start to learn how to enforce them. Money is very important to them. It is power for them. When I talk about knowing your worth, I'm not just talking about money. Remember, they will hide money. It is so very likely that you came out of this relationship with nothing. Any money you had was gone. You were put in a position you paid for everything. They have walked away debt-free. I will also put a link below to my video on financial coercion. Money is power. It was a way of controlling you. And it will be a way that they continue to control you. If you have children, you need to consider ways the money can be paid to you, maybe via a third party. And that way, they are not able to play around with the dates or payments, and they will not be able to change the amounts that they're paying. Make sure you create a list of negotiables and non-negotiables. Make sure you know what you're entitled to, know your rights. Now is not the time to start listening to them regarding them helping you through this process. What they want to do is take control. They want the scenario, they want the divorce to work in their favour. If it helps, write out your story. Look at the patterns and heal the wounds. You need to armour up for battle. You are fighting for your freedom, for your sanity, for your sovereignty, for your future. One of the hardest parts of dealing with this type of relationship is trying to heal and living in fear of how you're going to survive. And then you're watching your abuser living their life without any worries. You can get through this with help, and please ask for it. Your self-esteem has been crushed and you might not know how to function. But there are refuges, there are support networks that can help you. You might even be entitled to an amount of money up front to help pay for a lawyer for you. It's worth asking the question. I hope you found this video helpful. I'm going to leave some images of water crystals that have got words associated with them. I hope you'll see how important words are. If you'd like to find out more about working with me, you can come over to my website, put all the links below in the description box. You can join me on Facebook in the Divorce Sanctuary. I'll put the links to both my books, Finding Lily and the A to Z of Emotional Abuse, below. I still am finishing off the 3 things you should never do divorcing a narcissist. Sending you loads and loads and loads of love.